So I get this question asked quite frequently: why on earth do I invest in a general investment account when I can just invest in a stocks and shares ISA? So in this video, I'm going to go through my Trading 212 and Freetrade portfolio and show you why I use a general investment account in addition to using a stocks and shares ISA. So this is my Trading 212 portfolio, and as you can see, this is my Trading 212 invest account, and I have around £6,597. You may be wondering, why do I even bother investing into this account? Why do I have £6,000 here when I should be putting all my money into the Trading 212 ISA? If I scroll over here and go into my Trading 212 ISA, you can see that the value of my portfolio is £21,189, and you can also see here that the ISA utilization is 100%, meaning that I have maxed out my stocks and shares ISA limit for 2023. So that means I can no longer deposit into my stocks and shares ISA. And if you guys do not know what a stocks and shares ISA is, if you are a UK citizen, we all have an allowance of up to £20,000 in which we can deposit into our stocks and shares ISA. Now, the term ISA is shared with other ISAs, so if you have a cash ISA or a LISA, this shares the same £20,000 deposit limit. So within a stocks and shares ISA, any money that you gain from capital appreciation, so if you buy a stock for £100, it goes up to £200 and you sell it, that £100 profit is called capital appreciation or a capital gain, and money earned from that or from dividends is completely tax-free when you're withdrawing. That being said, you're still paying stamp duty on UK stocks, so do bear that in mind. In my opinion, the most powerful ISA is the stocks and shares ISA, and I try my hardest every single year to actually max out this ISA as soon as possible. So this year I maxed out my ISA within the first week of the tax year, and the way that I am able to do this is by leveraging both my Trading 212 ISA account and also my Trading 212 invest account. So if I go back into my Trading 212 invest account, you can see the money that I have here is parked into this account so that it gains some dividends and capital appreciation while I wait for the next tax year to open and I sell some of these holdings and transfer them straight into the ISA. For example, as soon as I max out my ISA, I have another 12 months to start getting ready so that I can max out the next ISA. Because I max it out at the beginning of the year and then I also have money in my Trading 212 invest account, this gives me a buffer and more time to actually save up and put my money into things that might get capital gains during the time that I'm waiting for the next tax season to open. So it is worth mentioning that you don't necessarily need a stocks and shares ISA to benefit from tax relief. For example, in the UK this year we have £6,000 of capital gains allowance. This means that we can make up to £6,000 in capital gains profit before we have to start paying tax. However, next year this allowance is going to go down to £3,000. Last year this allowance was £12,300, so it really goes to show that this allowance can be cut at any point and that making the use of a stocks and shares ISA is probably in your best interest. Also, we have £1,000 of dividend allowance this year. Last year it was £2,000 and next year it's going to be £500, so they're cutting dividend allowance too, meaning that if you have a lot of holdings within your general investment account or your Trading 212 invest account, you could be liable to be paying a lot of tax from the dividends you gain. If you are a company director, you might be taking out some of your salary as dividends, and this will count towards the same dividend allowance too. So it's probably always in your best interest, even if you start as a beginner investor, to actually just open a stocks and shares ISA and deposit into that. Although this is not financial advice and your specific scenario will definitely differ from mine. But anyway, I have all these stocks and my intention is, for example, putting most of my money that I earn per month into this account and just buying good quality ETFs. The hope is when the next tax year opens in April, I can sell some of these holdings for a profit, stay within the capital gains allowance tax threshold, and then just transfer into my ISA. Because I've already maxed out my ISA in the early April, even when the next tax year opens in April, I have well over 20 months to actually start saving up, and I'm pretty sure I can max out my ISA next year. I hope that is making sense, because in April I maxed out my ISA, giving me 11 months and 3 weeks till the next tax ISA. When the next tax ISA opens, I get another 12 months. So essentially I'm getting 23 months and 3 weeks to save up £20,000 to put into my next tax year's allowance, because when that opens it will give me an additional 12 months. I hope that is making sense. So this is the same strategy as my Freetrade account, and as you can see in my general investment account, I have £11,441 with with the majority in a good ETF, although some in companies that are very terrible. And if you've watched any of my Freetrade portfolio updates, you'll know that I am at a huge loss with some of these companies. But in any case, right now I have liquid 11,441. If I wanted to sell right now, that's how much I would be getting. In addition to my £6,000 that I do have in my other Trading 212 Invest account, I have around £17,000 of liquid cash that when the next tax year comes, I could just sell if I really wanted to and almost reach that £20,000 limit. I always strive to max out my ISA as soon as possible, so that gives me an additional 23 months to make the most out of my next ISA, because I know at any point my financial situation can change in the blink of an eye, and I do expect within the next year for my financial situation to change and I no longer being able to deposit that much into my investment portfolios. So by having an ISA and a general investment account, it just gives me more flexibility to put money in beforehand, and hopefully capital gains will work in my favor, and I'm giving it a good 2 years for it to work. When it comes down to selling, I do not want to sell any of my stocks at a loss. That is why I make the most out of a general investment account with a lot of diversity, meaning that whenever a stock is in profit, that is when I'm going to sell and transfer into my ISA. So like I said, I also have an ISA with my Freetrade account, and that has a value of 52,985. So that is actually 2 years worth of maxed out ISA contributions, leading to £40,000. However, I've made around £13,000 in capital appreciation plus dividends, and this is all tax-free, and it honestly is very, very sweet to have. That is why I recommend, even if you're a beginner investor, to actually look into a stocks and shares ISA, because you never know how much capital appreciation you're going to have later down the line. Especially if you had started investing within the past year, you're buying stocks at very, very cheap prices. You never know how much they'll be going up, and if luck is in your favor, you're going to be making so much that if it was in a general investment account, you would be liable to be paying tax on that. Make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in the next video.